The Quebec government has tabled a new bill tackling public safety. Bill 13 will ban criminal groups from displaying their colors and forbids protests near the homes of elected officials. Quebecers could, for example, face fines of up to $5,000 for wearing Hell's Angels jackets in public. The bill also creates a sex offenders registry of those who are released from prison and considered at high risk of reoffending. Such registries already exist in other provinces. This follows repeated promises by the CAQ government to get tough on crime. Let's go to Lafrenière, Public Security Minister, also the M&A for Vachon. Minister Lafrenière, welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning to you. Thank you.
Why was this high on the agenda for right now? They say timing is everything. Why was this the right time?
But timing is everything because, as you know, for Montrealers, they heard that we do have multiple cases of extortions, but this is not only Montreal. This is everywhere across the province now. So when we're talking about fighting organized crime, this is something that was asked by citizens because they fear now. You know, it's a safe place. Quebec is a safe place, but we don't like having the organized crime so present.
Now, you know, everything is about a balance here. I've heard the Premier of Quebec talk about the right balance. There are some people who would say that some of these measures go too far when it comes to freedom of expression. Maybe it's someone's right to fly a flag or show colors of a group, even if they are not a part of it. What do you say to people that are saying that you're going too far here, especially when it comes to freedom of expression?
Yes, freedom of expression, this is something extremely important, and that's the reason why I'm here to live in Quebec, a province where people, you know, they can express themselves. Yearly in Montreal, there's about 1,500 times where people are blocking streets for different reasons. So talking about freedom of expression, this is a good example. But on the other hand, when you're talking about freedom of expression, if I'm talking about organized crime, and let's be honest on that, I'm not talking about any kind of group that I don't like personally. We're talking about organized crime. I don't buy that. I don't buy the fact that people will say, you know what? I think that Hells Angels are important in our society and they should express themselves. The reason why they're wearing those patches is to do intimidation and extortions, and maybe not for yourself, but for people in a restaurant. You know, in the restaurant business, if you see 3 Hells Angels sitting at your place and telling you, you know what? From now on, you're going to sell my dope. I don't think this is freedom of expression. This is completely criminal. And for your listeners, on a yearly basis, because of intelligence gathering from the SQ and different police services, there will be a list of those criminal organizations. So that won't be a surprise.
Now, how will it be determined? What colors, banners, logos, what's allowed, what's not allowed? How are you going to determine all that?
It's going to be easy. On a yearly basis, there will be a list of the criminal organizations. And for us, it's the logo, it's the name, and it's the acronym. As you know, there is a shop now doing stuff called Support 81, 8 for H, 1 for A, which is Support Hells Angels. That will be also legal. And we do see those trucks coming from, you know, events to events, selling their crap to our kids to promote the criminal organization. Just imagine, for instance, the victims. People have been victims of that. People are suffering because they're stuck with, you know, drug in their community, and having these groups feeling good about selling their crap. No, we're not comfortable with this.
So let me ask you, because you know the mechanism here is fines, right? You can face a fine for showing these colors. I imagine the preferred avenue would be for Ottawa to do something about this and maybe go with with jail time and that kind of stuff. Do you think this mechanism is enough? Is organized crime going to be swayed by the threat of a $5,000 fine?
But that's a good question you're asking now. Is this going to solve everything? The answer is no. There won't be one measure. And if someone is present at your show in the morning telling you that he knows what to do to stop all that, don't believe him. Don't believe him. It's going to be many, many things. And this one we're proposing now, instead of going to court, because, you know, courts, we're talking about delays, we're talking about the cost of the states also. In this case, it's a fine. The first one will be $1,000. And if you're continuing the infraction, there will be a power to seize it. And if you're still continuing to do it, there will be power to arrest you. But we we're using a different tool. I don't I don't think it was the right thing for the feds to go up with that. We prefer to have our own legislation, which will be with a fine, which is penal. It's not criminal. But as you know, there are so other tools for police officers. And now this is the one first step that we're talking about. But believe me, in the following weeks, months, I'll be back to you, and you'll see that this is not the only one.
With Yann Lafrenière, Public Security Minister, talking about a new bill just tabled to tackle public safety. Let's get to some other elements of the bill. One with regards to protests. You are going to forbid protests near the homes of specifically elected officials. 50 meters seems like you could still get pretty close to an elected official's homes, but also you're going to allow some searches, right? Warrantless searches. If police officers feel there may be like a weapon or something that's something in someone's possession that could cause damage in a demonstration. Can you tell me a little bit more on that? And again, I hear some civil rights people saying you're going too far on this.
Oh, sure. I'm going to listen to them. They'll be present at the National Assembly to tell me whether or not this is not the right thing. And that's the reason why we're doing consultations. I just want to correct one thing. You said when the police officer feel. No, when the police officer got reasons to believe. And this is quite different. And again, I'm quite open to that. I'm going to listen to different groups. We want to provide a tool to police officers because, as I mentioned earlier, Montrealers are so patient. 1,500 times a year, streets are closed, and you know what? This is perfect. This is a good example of how we live in Quebec. But they said something. As I was a police officer in Montreal, they said when people are causing damage, when they're destroying property, this is the line that they can't cross. So we want police officers to do something about it. So instead of waiting that, they'll be breaking down a window, breaking down a car, we want police officers to intervene. And again, I'm going to ask you the question, to show up at the protests with any kind of weapon. I don't think that this is not the average. Everyone at protests, they're protesting for the right reason, but they don't show up with weapons. So that's the line that we want to establish. And talking about elected officials, it's tough now. People are doing intimidation. We do have a hard time to recruit mayors, mayoress, because they got a lot of pressure. But protesting at the office, protesting anywhere, that's perfect. But at your personal house, with your family, neighbors, this is a hard line not to cross.
Let me ask you about the sex offender registry. Are you playing catch up here? Like other provinces are ahead on this front. Is this a case of Quebec playing catch up?
It's not catch up. I think we were not ready for that. And again, when it was presented to me, I was not sure about it. I'll be honest with you. As a police officer, I saw what happened in New York City many years ago. They've done something like that. It was not the same kind of registry, but it led to a murder. Also, I'm sure you remember the case of Carla Moka in Montreal. When she was back, we had to move her from one location to the other because people were chasing her. So that was in my mind. On the other hand, I look in Canada, every provinces west of us got a registry like that. Every state in the state got one. So we're starting somewhere, which is, like you said, people with a high risk of doing it again. And we're talking about yearly, about 100 cases that will be submitted to 5 individuals that will look at it, that will evaluate it, and then we will decide whether or not they will be put on a registry. And why we would do so? Because this is the last safety net that we get. They've done their time, they served their time, so Quebec, the state, us, we got nothing that we can do with them. Since they are high risk, we want to put them on the registry. Also, sharing how they've done their crime so people can, they can do some prevention with it.
Let me ask you, I have to ask you this before I let you go. The mayor of Longueuil, Catherine Fournier, is asking you to investigate her police force. She's concerned about shortcomings in the investigation into the death of Nuran Rezai, the 15-year-old that was shot by police there in Longueuil. How are you responding to what the mayor's asking you here?
I did respond yesterday because what she's bringing up is the fact that once the investigation was launched with the independent investigation, I should say, with the BAE, it took a long time. So this is an administrative investigation. I answered yesterday that I was looking into it. The only thing I don't want to do is to jeopardize the two investigations that we get now. We get one from the BE, one from Montreal Police for the criminal actions that took place. So yes, but I don't want to be the one jeopardizing those investigations. Just in terms of timing, when should we do that? Now, a bit later? But yes, and I'm the M&A of Vachon. It happened in my writing. I want to know what happened, but I don't want to jeopardize the investigation. That's my line.
Minister Lafrenière, we're going to have to leave it there. I want to thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
That's Yann Lafrenière, Quebec's Public Security Minister and the M&A for Vachon.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.